Greetings, my name is Kelwyn Owain from the Kingdom of Trimaris, and I'm here to tell you a story. It is a story of love and loss of a mystical race, magic, and a wicked stepmother. It is the tale of the Children of Lyr. Once upon a time, long ago, in Ireland, there was a mystical race known as the Tuatha De Danann. Amongst them, they elected a man named Bo Derg to be their king. He was kind and just and fair. Though one of his subjects, a man named Lyr, thought that he could be a better ruler, and he opposed. To placate him, Bo Derg offered one of his daughter's hands in marriage. This daughter's name was Eve, and Lyr accepted and fell madly in love with her. They had 4 children, their eldest daughter Finwala, their son A, and Fiachra and Con, who were twins, though sadly, Eve died during childbirth for the twins, and it broke Lyr's heart. At this point, Bo Derg had come to love Lyr as his own son, and he wanted to mend his broken heart. So he then offered his other daughter's hand in marriage, Aoife, to Lyr, which he accepted. Now Aoife was beautiful, like her sister, but she was far more wicked and a jealous creature. She thought to rid herself of the children so that she could have Lyr all to herself, and she plotted endlessly. So one day, she told Lyr that she would take the children to see their grandfather, and she secreted them away in her chariot to a local lake, Lake Derivah, near their castle. The children had come to play there many times with their father, so they leapt from the chariot and they jumped into the water. And while they were distracted, Aoife pulled a druid's wand from her cloak, and she touched the water with it. Suddenly, the children were transformed, and their necks elongated, and wings sprouted from their back, and their smiles turned to beaks. They were transformed into swans. Horrified, Finwala cried out. Hearing that she had her own voice still, she pleaded with her stepmother. But Aoife cackled. Even she could not break this curse. She told them that they would spend 300 years in this lake, and then 300 more in the Straits of Moyle, and finally 300 more on the island of Inishglora, and only then, when Christian bells tolled in Ireland, would the curse be broken. She left the children in the lake, and she went to her father's. When he asked where his grandchildren were, she lied and said that Lyr had forbade her from bringing them. But King Bo Derg was very, very wise. He suspected something, and so he sent word to Lyr. Lyr then, when he received word, went out with fear in his heart and searched for his children. When he went to the lake and he called out for his children, Finwala with her voice cried out to her father. And when he finally saw what had happened, he dropped to his knees and he cried as he cradled them in the water. When Bo Derg had heard what had happened, he was incensed, and he cursed his daughter and turned into a demon of the night, and he threw her into the sky. Now that she was banished, Lyr spent his days with his children at the lake, in relative happiness. He would come and they would sing for him, and he would spend his time there. And for 300 years, they were okay. But at the end of the 300 years in Lake Derivah, they had to move on to the Straits of Moyle, and so they departed. When they got there, occasionally fishermen would come by, and they would sing for them, and that was okay. And so 300 more years passed, and they had to move on to the island of Inishglora. There they spent all their days in seclusion. Knowing that the end of their 900-year curse was approaching, the children returned to their home, to Lake Derivah. And then they heard bells tolling, Christian bells. It was then that they started to transform back into their childlike selves, and their feathers fell off, and their beaks grew into children's smiles. A priest who was nearby saw this, and he spoke to them, and he blessed them. But as quickly as they transformed into children, their bodies began to age, 900 years, until they smiled and took their last breath, died, free of their curse. This is the tale of the Children of Lyr, of love, of loss, of magic, and a weird stepmother. Now, if you're ever in Dublin, in Ireland, there's a place called the Garden of Remembrance. There, you will see a statue dedicated to the Children of Lyr, and all those who died in the name of Irish freedom.